everyone. Hello. Wow.
Whoa.
Was that good as ever?
That was.
We're starting out strong, dude.
A very synchronized clap.
We are synchronous.
Ooh. And
Dang.
look at these fits though.
What's up, Molly?
Molly.
What's good? We
What
in
is
your
good?
clothes.
Look. What?
Dude. So good.
I just got yelled at. For those that are like listening and haven't watched the first episode, Devin is our producer, and he just yelled at me to put my feet on the floor. So I'm gonna do it
Dang feet on the floor.
in anger. Put it there.
Do it. we got to stand up for ourselves.
We do, I know, but Devin
we
is
have
our
this
producer.
guy on here trying to produce us. Yeah,
There,
okay,
yeah, he's
okay.
right, he's
cool,
right.
man.
I don't know.
You think you own us or something? We're gonna rebel, okay?
I'm gonna. No, he wanted me to.
You know
not
what else
have-
we should rebel about?
What?
Instagram algorithm.
Instagram algorithm.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about
Roll
it.
GMM intro. Okay, now that it ruled. I'm just kidding. We don't have that kind of power.
Do we though?
I can sing it.
I kind of want to tease.
Do 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 do.
Caw.
There it is.
There we go.
Welcome to your next Monday morning with Gavin and Austin. We're here at Silo.
And Elene Vintage coming out.
As
with
always, we're styled, we're wild, and we're a child.
I am
today we're
compared to you, technically.
by like 2 years.
2 years.
We're gonna talk about the Instagram algorithm today. And we're going to figure out if it's a burnout machine or something that helps you creatively. And I know we each have our own thoughts on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So we have a lot to talk about in a very little amount of time. So let's just jump right into it, as all the cool YouTube people say, right?
Yeah. We'll go
Okay.
with that.
That was a little bit of judgment. I got judgment from the producer too. That's fine. That's fine. Okay.
We love you because you're wearing an amazing shirt.
Guys, I feel like my hot takes are not appreciated here. I'm just going to be honest. It's a therapy session now.
Hot takes with Austin turn into
It's a separate podcast. Season 3.
That's a good
okay,
idea,
so
though.
every other episode in season 3 will be Austin saying 3 words. Pineapple, not pizza. Something like that, you know? That's
and
all.
then it'll just be like just him crying in the background.
It's just gonna be
Just like tears.
Yes. We'll have a separate camera on everyone that cries after my hot takes. Okay.
All right. Let's get into it.
There it is. We've
There it
decided.
is. We've gotten into it.
All right, Gavin, I need to hear your honest opinion. Now that we've been on Instagram for just over a year now, I want to hear where have we succeeded? Where have we fallen short? Where have we learned from mistakes?
Well, especially, so it's crazy. So I'm somebody that didn't have any Instagram or any Facebook or literally any social media whatsoever for probably all of my life.
Yeah.
So until 2 years ago when Silo started.
Yeehaw.
So I'm fairly new to this whole thing, fairly new to the ins and outs. I mean, my niche has quickly become Reels because that's where I find the most creative venture.
You should have seen us. I was stumbling around doing Reels and like, I have an idea, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Gavin, how do I do this? And then he does it, and then I do some more things to it really quick.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Gavin, how do I add more to it? How do I add more to it, sir?
How do I add more
And then this man just comes over like a mechanic and goes, and then we have a working
Those
reel.
noises.
Guys, I'm just going to say it right now. I should be a voice actor.
Do
Hot
it.
take number 3. Voice actor for a car. You heard it here. Yeah.
Man, that's your new side gig.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Why are we having such a good time right now?
We're chilling, man. But yeah, so Instagram, I guess it's great because this kind of podcast shows 2 different perspectives. Like I'm fairly new. I'm like a little baby infant to Instagram. Who's kind of also been thrown into the sharks of what it is like.
Yeah.
Because I had to learn very quickly because running a social media platform, it takes a lot of time to learn and kind of cultivate. Shout out to our first event. But from there, it's been an experience, to say the least.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people who continuously push content out, use sponsorships, use ads, and then there's what we've been doing, which is literally just like, we have this amazing idea, we have this concept, let's just put it out there, regardless of what it may look or appear like.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, we did color, and then we went to black and white. And so to me, all of those things, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. And to Austin, he's like, man, like this hashtag here, this tag. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm there doing the comments and then doing the interactions. So it's been an experience. I'm learning so much just from like talking to you about Instagram. It's crazy. And that's how we learn, is by talking to people. But I can't be talking this whole time. I got to reverse the card back to you.
I don't see the Uno reverse card. Can't do it.
I need to
They don't see it either.
True. But yeah, so how have you learned through Instagram? Like, what is the down low for Austin?
Well, I mean, it's so weird because, as I've told the story many times, Silo started on Facebook, and I was like, it needs to stay on Facebook. It's, it's more of a community. It's more groups. So the way that people can post interminglingly, if that's a word, is through communities and groups. Because on Instagram, sure, you can comment, but it's not like equal participation. Yeah. So I was like, okay, listen, we should only be on one platform because that's all we can handle.
True. Because it was just
it was a daunting task.
Yeah.
And so once, literally around, like last month, it's been a year since we were on Instagram, and I think that's thanks to where our leadership team was last year, and we're like, hey, we need to break out of this.
Big shout out to Lindsay, Hannah, and then Lindsay.
Yeah, and Genesis was part of that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So like all those people said, okay, our strategy needs to shift, and I was like, I'm totally down for Instagram. Yeah. I just can't be the only one managing two different things and cross posting and all of that. So I think that's a valid thing, but I can't not be open to change. And once that happened, I mean, we didn't take it super seriously until like December of 2020. Yeah. But since that happened, since 2021, basically, it was like, okay, kind of all gears firing on making Instagram the reality, because we were actually seeing amazing growth. And, everyone measures metrics of growth differently, measures success differently. But we were seeing a significant amount of engagement as soon as the followers increased.
True.
And I think, obviously, that comes from just the amazing community that we have and everyone that's been following us. And I definitely take myself as a very analytical kind of person. So seeing that made me double down even further on Instagram rather than Facebook. And, that's okay. I think, being open to that change. You lost your pen. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, pen.
I'm going to grab it, because why not?
So like being able to see that shift allowed me to say, hey, we should switch. And we did. Going back to the actual original question, I think we've seen that Instagram has proven to us it is moving in a direction that Facebook won't take us. And that even though people can't necessarily like straight up post into a community forum, like we don't have like a DM conversation with all of our followers. Like that's kind of what Facebook is. We don't have that.
And we could actually potentially have that coming here shortly if things go according to plan. Because exactly like you said, there's Facebook and Instagram. The biggest thing between the two is Facebook groups, because you don't have that on Instagram unless you get the Instagram DMs, and then it just becomes like you're scrolling and you're scrolling and you're scrolling and like, oh my goodness, I don't even know what that guy said, what she said, and then it just becomes too much. Ooh, joke.
Yeah, so I mean, like, is Instagram a burnout machine? That depends on how much effort you're putting into it.
True. And I also think on the flip side, almost combat that statement is like Instagram almost forces you to make more time for it. So if you do not have that time, or you do not have that just almost overall drive to work through Instagram, then it becomes a burnout machine, because you're like, I can't be posting 3 reels a week, or I can't be doing 10 plus stories, or I can't be doing 7 to 8 posts a week. I mean, that's crazy. And that's 2 guys doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine
you
just
need
a
social media
creator.
team.
Exactly.
To run a social media platform correctly.
And so it quickly becomes a burnout machine if you don't have like what we've used as Creator Studio and things like that have helped us. But if there's no connection to any of that stuff, it just becomes like this constant, like, oh my gosh, I got to do this week. It becomes a job rather than doing an actual creation.
Something that I hate most, because I've interned as a social media like intern, and also now working on 2 different social media accounts as an actual job, as a stable income, not silo, is I hate that you have to be in person when you post. So like, obviously there's schedulers out there, but if you want to post a story, basically you have to be on the app in that moment, and that's when it goes live. I understand, but it's just, if I can only schedule posts, that is 1 out of 7 possible ways you can interact on Instagram, and to only be able to schedule one kind of thing, when you have to check off a list of things to be successful or to reach optimum engagement, like, it's tough.
It is. Honestly becomes a full-time job.
Yeah.
Running Instagram. Like, one of the more personal with like Silo, like, I've had to I'm one of the guy that's in the comments doing the DMs. And so I've had to put these boundaries in place, shout out season 1, where you have to allocate time every single week, every single day, every single minute of like, okay, I'm not going to be on Instagram, because it becomes addicting. It becomes a burnout machine. It becomes that. And it's crazy because at the same time, we loved the creative side of what it used to be, but now there's so much more possibilities. But in order to achieve those possibilities, you have to engage with more time. And time is the biggest investment that you'll ever do and ever use. Yeah. It's so key, but you have to work a full-time job if you want to make money and provide and do things. It's a risk to go out into Instagram all the time, because you never know. I mean, the algorithm will change tomorrow. And it'll be like, instead of 3 reels, it's going to be 7 reels, and then it's going to be 1 post, and we're going to be like, oh my gosh. So I think at the forefront, Instagram, hot take, taking Austin's thing, is no longer a creative outlet. It is a business platform.
There it is. I mean, I have to agree. There's no casual Instagram.
No.
I mean, there's like movements of make Instagram casual again,
True.
blah, 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 all that stuff. And recently there's a resurgence of like photo dumps. So like people like, take off a month and then, hey, this is what I've been up to recently.
True.
And they post like 10 photos of like what they've been up to. I think that's really cool. I think that gives you that boundary of like, hey, I don't need to be on all the time. I don't need to post individual things. I can post, here's 10 of the most important moments from the last month. To end on something hopeful, there is hope. Like there Instagram, it's not I'm not a Debbie Downer in any way on this.
We're not like, Instagram sucks.
Yeah. I mean, we use it. Like,
literally the silo is Instagram
like,
right now.
As we talked about before, like, that's our main form of communication with you guys now. So what we see happening is now, I mean, you've seen all the story posts, the people saying like, oh, Instagram doesn't care about likes anymore, blah, blah, blah. That's totally fine with us.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one, we don't care what happens. I'm an analytical guy, but if I know that likes are going to be down no matter what, I'm not going to be worried about it. I'm never worried about likes in the first place. You should create for yourself. And if people like it, they like it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's something to be said about corporations or communities that you're trying to stir up something in people.
Yeah.
But there's just as many like ghost listeners, like people that don't like your post that actually see it, as there are people that like it, if not more, probably.
Yeah.
But where I find hope in Instagram right now is that once they release something new, say Reels, they push that hardcore.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And that's an opportunity to grow as a business, as a person. I mean, we've been experimenting with Reels now for a few weeks.
We have 3 presently up, probably if not more coming.
Yeah. And like that's a way to not only reach the followers that you have, but they get pushed because Instagram wants them to. They get pushed out past that, no matter who your followers are.
It's an organic push.
It's an organic push.
They want Instagram to flourish. So using that.
So of course, by promoting something and rewarding people for using that platform, their views and everything is going to go up. I mean, at the end of the day, Instagram is a business, blah, blah, blah. But there is hope for us.
There is hope.
If you want to grow on Instagram, you don't have to burn yourself out.
You have to surround yourself with people that will constantly be encouraging you.
Yeah. That is really what it takes. And on that note, we're going to say goodbye.
We're going to encourage you. Surround yourself with people that will constantly uplift you, regardless of if you're on Instagram or not.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Put a period in it. That's our episode. Okay. Take it easy, guys. Have a blessed week. And tell someone you love them today.
I love you also.
Love you too, man.